Hello everyone, the 316 here with another Marvel Legends review. Here I have the re-release of X-Men 97 Retro Card Wave Rogue. This was a Target exclusive restock of this figure. They also did one of Wolverine. I opted not to get the Wolverine, but I was able to get Rogue. I think it was on a Sunday, and they had some like Target Circle deals, so I actually only got her for about 20 bucks. So I can't complain with that. She's still being found in stores, and you might be able to get her for shipping if you're lucky. But I'm actually quite excited to have this figure. I don't collect too many X-Men. I have, let's see, Wolverine, I have Cyclops, I have Jean, I have Iceman and Firestar from the Amazing Friends 3-pack. Other than that, I think, oh, and if you count Deadpool and Wolverine figures, the two of them, but yeah, really excited to take a look at this figure. I don't know if there are any differences from the original release of this figure. From what I've seen, it looks pretty much the same. Even the year on the back here still says 2023, but gives you an idea on the retro card here. There's a couple different ways to open it. Easiest way is just take this and tear it up. If you want to, you can use like a box cutter or something, but I don't save the boxes, so let's go ahead and open her up. Got her out of the package. Pretty easy getting her out. I do have some issues with standing her up, but let's take a look at her accessories. So she does come with a pair of fisted hands on both sides. This is her left hand. She's got her right hand on. She comes with an ungloved right hand here. And in her left hand, she has what I think is the coolest accessory here. She has her other glove in her other hand. I like that. It's a nice little way to display her. And these cuffs do come off, so you can have it, you know, like so. But I'd probably be displaying her like this, or the two yellow fists. I'm sure there's other figures I could get if I wanted extra hand options, but that's all she comes with. So, Rogue here. I like what they did here. I haven't seen X-Men 97, but I think she was like one of the breakout characters from that particular show, and I know she was very popular for a time, and this figure was very sought after, and just prices kept skyrocketing. You know, people were demanding a re-release, and I'm honestly surprised that they went through Target to do this. I guess they weren't expecting this particular character or figure to be so popular. Wolverine makes sense, but Rogue not so much, but, you know, breakout star from the show, so, you know, here she is, the re-release here. I mostly like this figure. I do have some issues with it. On this particular thigh, the paint's a little bit hazy, and it doesn't line up that well with the upper portion. I believe this upper portion is painted yellow, not green, at least. Actually, that's green paint too. That's a surprise. Weird. She doesn't have any like ab articulation. That's one solid piece. That's the one downside to modern female Marvel Legends. They have no articulation in this joint at all. It's a damn shame. You know, a lot of female figures could really benefit from that, and I would rather have a waist articulation point than, you know, butterfly joints. And obviously we typically don't get butterfly joints in the figures anyway, but it would have been nice to have, you know, a new mold here for that. But considering how much new stuff is here, I guess it makes sense. She is fully pinless, but she only has single jointed elbows because she has her jacket on, and that does have some printed X logos on both sides. They look okay, not too bad, and she does have an overlay piece for her jacket, so you can kind of get a better look at the print work there with the green. And I would take the rest of the jacket off, but you can see up there that it is painted on the back as well. So if you wanted to swap the arms out for whatever reason, put on a, you know, like a cloth good jacket, you could do that, but I'm just going to leave mine as is. There's some paintwork on this knee. It's not as crisp as I'd like it, but it's pretty close. I can live with it. These green bits are molded on. Those are painted and molded on as well. They're not just paint on top of paint. It's paint on top of the raised section. I like that. Of course, you saw the belt here is free moving. That's a nice, you know, thing. You know, you can have it like off to the side here if you wanted to. Good for like poses. You know, I mean, it'd be even better if it had articulation there, but you get the idea. Um, let's see, what else? The back here. Her hair does get in the way of articulation, but I wanted to show off that the neck color, on camera it looks close, but in reality it's not. Let me see if I can... There you go. You can kind of see it's a little bit more yellow. You can also get an idea of what the articulation point is like in that piece. Let me turn my light down a bit. The head sculpt here, let me raise this up. The head sculpt here, I like it. It's a good, probably one of the better Rogue heads besides the, from what I understand, the other retro card figure they had. I think that this one looks pretty good. Is that a blemish on there, or is that dust? Okay, that was just dust. So yeah, what color eyes did she have? Green? I can't tell. Is it green? Makes sense. Her name's Rogue. Although isn't Rogue like a red in Spanish? I don't know. Anyway, good looking face sculpt, printed well. The hair sculpt is nice too. I think it's painted well. I'm not sure if it's molded in this gray color or molded in this red color, but either way, if it's a dual mold, it's well done. And she's got her headband on, of course. That pretty much covers the figure. Let's go over the articulation. Starting off with this upper torso piece, she gets a little bit of side to side, and it's a ratcheted swivel. And that's all you get in the upper torso. Head sculpt wise, you're not really going to get her into good flight poses other than with that upper joint there, and even then it's not too great. Looking down, you know, she can touch her breastbone, but I did not like how that felt. It almost felt like this is going to break. Yeah, look at the neck joint. It is a little wiggly, so be careful with that. Although, wait, does her head come off easy? I wouldn't say her head comes off easy, but I would not pull on that if you want to keep the figure together. Arms wise, you do have the full range of movement here, and at the hinge here, she can get a perfect T-pose, but can't go above that. She doesn't lay her arms flat enough for my liking, but I think that just has to do with this particular jacket piece. You may be able to get it to lay flatter, because there's a cutout here at the back. It does lay a little bit flatter, but it's not by much. She does have a swivel at the elbow here, and she does have a hinge, and they go up a little bit past the 90-degree mark, and of course it does swivel out. Obviously you're pretty familiar with the hand articulation. Ooh, what's that? What the heck is that? Is that extra paint on there? Is that a painted wrist peg? Is this a McFarlane figure? The cuffs don't really get in the way. And of course there's nothing in the midsection other than the belt being free moving. She does have a good kick. You know, she can sit down in a car just fine if you wanted to have her displayed in like an X-Jet 3D print or whatnot. Let's see, let's look at the splits. Splits aren't very good. She gets that much. You might be able to carve out some plastic, but you're going to carve out a lot of her butt. And they gave her a lot of cake, you know. Whole bakery back there, but swivel, it's mostly good, but mine gets caught a little bit about right here. Same thing on the other side. Other side's a little bit better. Double jointed knee, which can get you that far. And then at the ankle joint, you got the pivot. It can go in both directions. You got a little bit of up and a little bit down. Not too bad. And as I said, I have some issues standing this figure, but otherwise she's pretty good articulation wise. I'm not a big fan of the thigh gap. It is a little wide. Like you can stick, like I could probably stick this pen through just fine. Almost. But you get the idea. Anyway, it's size comparison time. Let's go ahead and see how tall she is. With my ruler, she is almost to 6 1/4 inches tall. She's up there for Legends female figures height-wise, but size comparisons. Here she is next to my other X-Men figures there. You can see Astonishing, Wolverine, and Cyclops in the back. You got Iceman and Firestar up front, and of course the Jean Grey figure, which she does share mostly just the feet with, and not the midsection. But you know, if I had that figure's midsection on this figure, I think this figure would be a lot better. But there's what she looks like with my other X-Men. And here she is with all of our usual suspects, the DC Multiverse, Atrocitus, and Batman back there. Jazzware's Spartan Yoroi. We got the wrestling figures, AEW Unrivaled Samoa Joe, and the Mattel WWE Elite 100 John Cena, G.I. Joe Classified Tiger Force Outback, Power Rangers Lightning Collection Dino Thunder Black Ranger, Maximum Spider-Man, Star Wars Retro Card Boba Fett from Return of the Jedi. We got Jack's Pacific Sonic 3, and we got Steve from Mattel. But I like this Rogue figure. I'm glad I was able to get it, and it was on sale as well. I did have to buy something else for free shipping, but stay tuned for what else I bought in another review. But should I watch X-Men 97? I heard good things about it. Nothing bad from what I've heard, but figure-wise, good figure. If you find her in store, definitely get her. Don't pay aftermarket prices. But if you really want this figure, I would say it's a must-buy. But there are other Rogue options out there. But if you like this particular portrayal of the character, go ahead and get this one. But hope you guys enjoyed this review. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this figure. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe, and hit the bell. It all helps out the channel. And as always, peace.